Did you know that Santa Claus was actually a Pokemon trainer and Delibird was one of his main Pokemon? That's one of many interesting Pokemon facts I could find about the present delivery Pokemon Delibird on the internet that you didn't know. So together, we can uncover the secrets of Delibird together. Number 1. Delibird has a few unique Pokedex entries, to say the least. The main thing that reads from most of these entries is that Delibird actually carries food around in its quote-unquote bag. But if you know Delibird, you would know that its bag is actually its physical tail. Delibird doesn't carry food around in an actual bag, since it constantly carries its tail around that is meant to appear as if it were a sack of presents. In the Ruby and Sapphire games, the Dex actually confirms that Delibird had used this adaptive trait to actually help someone climb to the top of one of the tallest mountains in the world, Mount Everest. I actually spent about an hour trying to look up any evidence I could find where Delibird's tail isn't attached at any point in any games, anime scenes, or Pokemon cards, and the artists across all three Pokemon segments have never once faltered in giving Delibird a sack that wasn't attached to its body. Number 2. We can't talk about Delibird if we don't talk about its signature move, Present. The only two moves Delibird can learn through leveling up are the moves Drill Peck and its signature move, Present. Prior to Scarlet and Violet, Delibird was the only Pokemon that could learn the move Present through leveling. With Scarlet and Violet's release in 2021, there was now 2 Pokemon who could learn the move Present through leveling. Any guesses to who that might be? It's Iron Bundle. So basically, still Delibird, just in his future form. This might seem random, but needs to be mentioned that there was actually an event Pikachu that was given away by the fast food chain McDonald's back in 2008 that had the move Present in its base set of 4 moves. This isn't too special, since a female Pikachu can be bred with a male Delibird to learn the move Present, but I just thought it was an interesting fact that's worth mentioning about the move Present. Present is a special move, because it's an attacking move that has a 20% chance of actually healing your opponent. Your odds of actually hitting your opponent's Pokemon and doing any damage is about 80%, meaning that you're basically relying on good RNG to not heal your opponent when using this move. Did you know though, that in a double battle format, if you attempt to use Present on your own Pokemon in an effort to try and heal that Pokemon, the odds of healing them actually goes down from 20% to 18%, making it an even worse option to consider if you attempt to use Present as a supporting healing move. Number 3. Next, we'll talk about Delibird in the Pokemon competitive scene, since it has an interesting, we'll call it, situation. Delibird is in the competitive tier ZU, which stands for Zero Used. ZU is actually not an official tier in the Pokemon competitive metagame. It was made up by competitive Pokemon players to create a brand new tier that's below the official listed tier PU. ZU consists mostly of fully evolved Pokemon that cannot take advantage of the item Eviolite that really are just horrible to use in general. Delibird is considered a lead in the competitive scene, meaning it would be the first Pokemon sent out in a competitive Pokemon team. What makes Delibird a bad lead is that his speed and defense are abysmal compared to other better leads you could use. Many Pokemon players can usually only get one set of spikes out before their Delibird faints, since its defense is so bad. But if Delibird can somehow survive the opening lead roll to set up spikes, he then serves to use the move Rapid Spin to clear any opponent's spikes or stealth rocks that were previously set. What's even more interesting about all this though is that Iron Bundle, the futuristic version of Delibird from the new Scarlet and Violet games, is in the tier Uber, the highest competitive tier of competitive Pokemon. Iron Bundle is considered a special attack sweeper since his special attack stat and speed stat are so high. Part of what makes Iron Bundle so good is Iron Bundle also has the ability Quirk Drive. Its stat speed is multiplied by 1.5 times, making it one of your fastest sweeping options. Also, side note, but Iron Bundle also has this futuristic electric battery bag that is also attached as its tail. Number 4. Delibird's Pokedex entry is number 225, which people seem to believe has a correlation with Christmas's date, because Christmas's date on a calendar is celebrated on 12/25, similar to the number 225. Just missing the number 1 at the beginning. It's never been confirmed that this is a fact, and that this Pokedex number placement was intentional to represent Delibird as the gift-giving Santa Claus-like Christmas Pokemon. However, some fans have pointed to the fact that in the National Pokedex, the creators of Pokemon placed Delibird right in the middle of Remoraid, Octillery, and Mantine, when it has nothing to do with those 3 Pokemon that are all connected in one way or another. So I'll let you all decide if the Pokemon Company did that on purpose, or if it's just a coincidence. I believe that this could be intentional numbering, given its design similarities to Santa Claus and the fact that there's actually a special anime episode where Santa Claus makes an appearance with his companion Delibird, which confirms this point even further. Since I'm on the topic, as I was doing this research, it turns out Santa Claus is actually considered a Pokemon trainer in the Pokemon universe, and he actually has his own team of Pokemon. He even has his own Bulbapedia page, which is actually hilarious. If you were to go up against Santa Claus in a battle, his team would be Jinx, Stantler, Lapras, Ponyta, and of course, our guy Delibird. So if you just wanted to run a level 100 Electivire with the move Cross Chop, you could absolutely wreck Santa Claus in a battle. Also, fun fact, but Ted Lewis, the English voice actor for Santa Claus in the Pokemon series, was the same voice actor for Dalton from One Piece, and he was the announcer in Pokemon Stadium. Can you imagine this man submitting his resume to be a voice actor in One Piece, and his top highlight was being the English voice actor for Santa Claus in Pokemon? What an absolute legend. Number 5. Speaking of Pokemon Stadium, in Pokemon Stadium 2, Delibird had his own minigame called Delibird's Delivery. Delibird's Delivery was a Frogger-like game where the objective was to carry presents from one side of an enclosed room to the other, where you would drop presents off into this conveyor belt-like contraption. What made the minigame difficult was that you had to constantly avoid Swinub running across the room as you would try and make your way to the conveyor belt. If you ran into one of the speedy Swinub, you dropped all of your presents and you had to start over and attempt again to bring new presents across the room. Whoever secured the most presents in this 4-player minigame under 60 seconds was the winner. Number 6. Next, we'll talk about Delibird in the Pokemon anime. Delibird appears in exactly 15 episodes of the Pokemon anime, which is quite a lot of TV time for the cute delivery Pokemon. One of the most memorable appearances for many Pokemon fans actually was a special Delibird that was owned by Team Rocket. And no, I don't mean that Jesse and James captured a Delibird and they had that Delibird. It was a special Delibird owned by a Team Rocket grunt that followed Jesse and James throughout the end of the Johto season. Delibird was actually following them both because Jesse and James were in debt to the Team Rocket organization, and the Delibird followed them around until they could finally pay off all their debts and he could collect their dues. There are other notable appearances later in the seasons by other random trainers, and Delibird makes an appearance as a wild Pokemon in the Pokemon movie Deontay and the Cocoon of Destruction. Thanks for watching Secrets About Pokemon featuring Delibird. For the next episode, pick one of these 3 Pokemon and comment below which one you would like for me to do next, and subscribe to the channel please to find out who the next Pokemon will be in the next episode of Secrets About Pokemon. Subscribe again, please, since it helps out a lot. But again, love you big dogs. Hope you have a good day. Peace.